Greetings everyone. Today we're going to explore writing a linear equation from just some information. Now we do have a foldable for this, but you could definitely handwrite this in your notes as well. Let's review slope-intercept form. Remember that in slope-intercept form, the m represents the slope and it's always in front of or being multiplied by the x. B always represents the beginning, I like to say, but specifically it's the y-intercept. So when we talk about the y-intercept, that's on the y-axis. It's always going to be 0, some number. So our goal today with slope-intercept form is we want to fill in the m and the b with the information provided. So let's start off with this first example. We're given when m equals -5 and b equals 0, -1. So y equals something x something, right? We're filling in the blanks. The slope is -5, so the slope gets multiplied by the x. The y-intercept is -1, so we're going to subtract 1 at the end. That's all. We're just filling in the m and the b. Let's try the next one. My goal is y equals some number x some number. My slope on this one provided is 1/2. I'm going to take 1/2 times x. My b exists at -1, so I'm going to subtract 1. Let's take a look at this one. Notice how each of these examples are also written just a little bit differently, but we're seeking out the same information. In this example, our slope given is 1/3, so I'm going to take 1/3 times x. It goes through the point 0, 7. Well, 0, 7 is on the y-axis, so a positive or adding 7 is in my equation. Let's write an equation of a line that has a slope that is 1 and it goes through the origin. What does that mean? The origin is 0, 0. So let's write our equation. Y equals something x plus or minus something. My slope is 1. And if my line goes through the origin, technically it's a +0, but do we need to write that? We don't. We could actually rewrite this. We could just say y equals x, right? We don't need the 1 in front, and we don't need the +0. Let's try this one. We're given that m equals -2, and it has a y-intercept of 7. Something x plus or minus something. My slope is -2. My b, my y-intercept, is a +7. Make sure you throw that plus sign in there. All right, let's switch gears here a little bit. Let's take a moment to talk about point-slope form. Remember, point-slope form is always y plus or minus the y value equals m. M is still in front of the x, that's still our slope, followed by x plus or minus the x number. Now we've graphed this before. We have a previous video, so you're going to be familiar with this. But now we're just writing the information. So here's how I like to set it up. I like to start with y space equals space parenthesis x space. I like to set up the point slope form first. Now we know that the slope still gets multiplied and is written in front of the x. Let's talk about the point though. If it has a +6 for my x, then with my x, I'm going to write -6. Now if my y says -3, with my y, I'm going to write +3. So we have to remember that special rule of changing your sign. All right, we've worked with that before. It's the same. Let's try this one. Y space equals space x space. Let's fill in what we know. We're given a slope of -1/2. that's always written in front of the x. It says that my x is -1, so I write my x plus 1. It says the y value is -3, so I write y plus 3. Let's try another one. Y space equals space x space. You do need those parentheses. I'm given a slope of -2. -2 is always written in front of the x. Let's label our point. We have x, comma, y. If it says the x is +5, I'm going to write x minus 5. If it says the y is 0, I'm going to write 0, and technically it doesn't matter if it's plus or minus. And even more so, I don't need the 0, right? The 0 doesn't change anything. So I'm actually just going to rewrite it without. Now we do have two special cases. In this case, it's a special case because my slope is 0. Let's draw a quick little sketch here. Let's talk about this. If I have the dot 1, 4, do a quick little coordinate axis, that would mean right 1, up 4, just a regular dot. If my slope is 0, remember that looks like a floor. If my slope is 0, it goes through that dot horizontally. Remember my little shortcut? What axis did we just slice? We just sliced the y-axis. At what number? At the y number, which is 4. So if you're given a slope of 0, you're only going to have one letter, one number. What if the slope in this case is undefined? This is special again. Let's draw a little sketch. Draw a quick coordinate axis. -3 is left 3. -2 is down 2. Here's my dot. If my slope is undefined, remember that's a vertical line. What axis did we just slice? We sliced the x-axis. At what number? The x number, -3. You could, if you're a good memorizer, memorize these rules. Undefined is always x equals the x number. Slope of 0 is always y equals the y number. I'm not a good memorizer though, so I think drawing a quick little sketch is helpful. That's it for today's lesson. Make sure you check out Google Classroom to see what the task is for today. Let me know if you have any questions, and until next time, have a good one.